Welcome back. As the United States inaugurates its first black president, we here at Inside Africa are pondering the significance of this historic milestone in political circles and in pop culture. I recently caught up with rising hip-hop sensation Kanan, who views Barack Obama's presidency from African and Western perspectives. He grew up in Somalia and now lives in Canada. Kanan says Barack Obama's presidency is pretty amazing.
For me, it says that America is looking to try and regain its political sanity. Mm-hmm. You know, that is what it says more than anything else. I mean, many of the scenarios that has shaped black people's history in America have changed, and many things have not. Mm-hmm. And so these few years aren't so different than the last few years when everyone couldn't imagine having a black president. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think it does give a lot of people a lot more things to aspire to be, you know. Mm-hmm. And so when that kind of a energy-based mm-hmm. kind of dialogue is going on between people, I think artists tend to take on those energies a little quicker, and I think that being that hip-hop is very much directly involved in this process, because this was the young vote that really had won him, and the young vote is really hip-hop. I think it's a very interesting place for hip-hop to be, because now it's going to have to re-examine itself.
Kanan is generating a lot of buzz with his upcoming sophomore album, Troubadour. The Telegraph newspaper in the UK calls him incendiary and wryly humorous. And the Los Angeles Times calls him a 2009 artist to watch. You can watch much more of him right here in a full half-hour interview. That's next week on Inside Africa. We've also been asking African government officials for their thoughts on the election of Barack Obama. I recently sat down with Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister. He calls the event truly transcendental.
I think beyond the song and dance in celebration that someone of my skin color is in the White House and whose father was from my continent is a sober realization by us, the African political elite, that we are quickly running out of excuses for failure. Because Obama didn't become president of the United States with just 11% of the population of America being black as a result of a decision by the Democratic Party, or indeed the electorate, to say, now we're looking for a black man to be president. He got there because of merit. He got there because of fair play, the rules were observed, and so on and so forth. And so the best way we can really celebrate Obama's victory, those of us who are from the continent of his father, is to do a lot more than we've done before now to entrain the values of democracy, which is about inclusiveness, respect for minorities, freedom of expression, and let Africa, which has been a left-behind continent, now be the world's best model. It looks like a tall order, but it can be done. Yeah, yes, we can. It can be done. Let us be the best model for those kind of virtues that made it possible for Obama to emerge in America.
For ordinary Africans, the new year brings with it many new challenges and many old ones. We wanted to know what some of them thought the big issues would be this year.
In 2009, we expect the Africans to come up with ways of helping themselves and to stop depending on outside, countries like European countries.
We're expecting peace and prosperity in Kenya. We want to see things changing. You know, Kenya has been a country that many people, many nations have been coming here for refuge.
This year I expect a better government, having what we've gone through in the year 2008. Expect our politicians to give us a better thing this year.
With the inauguration of Barack Obama, a new, more hopeful era is born here in the United States and right around the world. Given his promise of change throughout the election campaign, the hopes, dreams, and in some cases the very survival of so many people are resting on the actions of the 44th president and his administration. But change requires courage and the commitment to make tough decisions. People in Africa are waiting to see just how committed this latest resident of the White House really will be to helping them climb out of a world of poverty and end the cycle of violence millions are trapped in. For the people of war-torn eastern Congo, the recent news of a rift between rebel leader Laurent Nkunda and his chief of staff Jean Bosco Ntaganda potentially heralds an intensification of the conflict there. In Somalia, the withdrawal of Ethiopian troops, coupled with a hamstrung government, creates a vacuum that will likely be filled with more bloody chaos. For these people and others like them living and dying in misery in places like Darfur and Zimbabwe, there is a need for urgent engagement by Obama and his team. My fear is, with the recent explosion of violence in the Middle East and the downturn in the global economy, Africa will be shunted further down the agenda, and the urgency so many require may sadly be lacking. But if I could say just one thing to the new president, it would be to urge him to keep Africa's issues on the front burner. Constructive engagement with the continent's challenges and conflicts would go a long way towards helping America rehabilitate its image abroad, which is something Mr. Obama himself has acknowledged his country so greatly needs. And that's just my 2 cents. We'll be right back.